This podcast is for a mature audience and may be viewed as inappropriate or insensitive to some. Listener discretion is advised. The intention is to share conversation of like and unlike-minded individuals as they try to be the best them they can be in a life full of challenges, searching for love, acceptance, and positivity. Call 669-241-1422 and share yourself or catch up with SweetBaby Jay for an anonymous face-to-face interview. Feel free to call in with questions, stories, thoughts, or anything you would love to talk about and share. Nothing is off the table when talking sweet with SweetBaby Jay at 669-241-1422.
Ladies and gents and ladies, once again, you are here talking sweet with SweetBaby Jay. As always, a no-face, no-case scenario, but we extend the opportunity for each of our guests to share their name. Young lady, would you like to share your identity or not?
I definitely would like to share it.
Please do tell. What is it?
Hey, my name is Kyndra, a.k.a. the H&IC. You need to know what H&IC stands for? Go to urbandictionary.com.
Oh.
The end.
The end? I feel you. Well, let's start with this. May I ask, how old are you, if you're willing to share?
Well, I'm not willing to share.
Okay. Well, you're old enough to make the choices that you want for yourself at this point in life, correct?
That's correct.
And your current status, you are a virgin.
That's correct. I'm now more proud. I'm a lot in high school. I left high school a pure virgin, and people used to make fun of me. Well, not really make fun of me, but I thought love meant someone touching on you. That's what I thought that meant, because a lot of people in high school were being touched, whether it be inappropriately or appropriately. So I thought that's what love meant. And so once I realized, and talking to a lot of people after graduating, and they tell me, or older people, especially I've had some men, they have told me, hey, I wish I could have waited till I was married. You need to do the same. Or how that cracked up to be, he just wanted one thing, and then the way that some of these guys will just change up, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't have sex in high school. And that's why, people were sneaking around. Hey, like you can actually walk up to your parents like, hey, Mom, Dad, I have sex with my boyfriend. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Why you go to the supermarket?
Yes. Now it's never. Now, no. I will tell you this, right? 90, because I don't want to make it seem like that's the case for everybody, okay? Because that's not actually true. There are some parents out there don't care, especially a lot of dads. And this is a sad fact, man.
Really?
A lot of dads don't, and I feel like it's sad. And I'm gonna break it down and explain why.
Okay.
A lot of these fathers don't. No, let me go back a little bit further than that. In society, they make it acceptable for men to be like, oh, it's okay for him to have sex with someone who's a lot older than him.
Okay.
I was having this conversation with someone, and they were telling me that his homeboy had decided to go to the police when I think it was like two women had taken advantage of him. And he's an adult, probably in his 30s or so. He goes to the police. The police just like, man, that's a good time. What you talking about? He's like, bro, they raped me. And? Well, I wish come on now.
Yeah,
the police is over here laughing at him.
That's a problem. The fact that it's not, for some reason, not understood that men can be taken advantage of as well. When someone says no, there is no moving forward. No means no, whether it's male, female, or whatever. But did you ever have that situation where someone was trying to move forward and you just didn't feel comfortable with it, so then you shut it down? Or how was that coming up for you, maintaining that virginity up until this point?
Definitely, that has happened to me since elementary school. You don't realize what molestation is. You don't realize what actual rape is, because rape, you're thinking, oh, it's only when you tell a person no. But rape is also if you engage in an activity, and it's like if your body has gone into a toxic shock where you're not moving and the person is still going, and they look at you and they're not caring what's going on with you. They're not caring about who you are. They're just trying to get there.
Yeah.
And you don't realize certain things until you have conversations with other individuals who are more hip to the game. I also realized that levels of aggressiveness that comes with it as well. I'll give you a prime example. There's this one guy, going to call him New York, okay? New York.
Let me guess where he's from.
What borough do you think this brother's from?
It would be impossible for me to tell, but I just know he's from New York.
Okay, he's from Queens. Okay. Anyway, so and you have to take where you did what you did wrong in the situation as well, and you have to say, okay, what I'm going to do differently, what I'm going to do better, and everything else like that. So the same thing hopefully won't happen again.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens is we met each other sometime junior high, early high school or whatever. don't know where we met each other from, but somehow he remembers my name, and he says to me, sends me a friend request on Facebook many years later, and he sends me a message. The first message a couple of years back says, the first message pops up, "Yo thick self." At that point, I should just ran for the hills, right? But I check out profile picture. I'm like, oh, okay, let me keep on scrolling. Next. I'm like, okay, geez. I'm like, all right, God, I see you, boy. I'm dapping God up and everything.
You smitten by his looks.
Yes, and he's in my age group too. I'm used to dealing with guys who look like a squirrel with a trash bag wrapped around their head. Okay, and I'm used to dealing with guys who don't have nothing going for themselves. Right?
Wait,
He seemed like he had everything.
Or why have you become used to dealing with guys that are not of a certain caliber? Why has that been acceptable for you?
I think it's because it's a lottery analogy for these men. I'm still trying to understand why, and I asked a therapist this, and it just randomly happened. Oftentimes when I send DMs to different podcasters, I don't fully check them out, see what they're about. I just read the bio. I'm like, okay, I can jump on this podcast. I just send an email. You know, that's how my logic is, right?
There you go.
So I didn't realize that this podcast I jumped on, and he actually is a therapist, and we started talking, and it was a pretty good conversation. But I asked him, I said, why don't I get hollered at by attractive men? He never answered that question, but he answered all my other questions. So it's still to be continued answer with it.
When you say an attractive man, but what is the gauge for attractive?
Okay, I understand the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but everyone knows this person's the poster child, like Billy D. Williams. Oh, he can still get the draws probably from somebody's mother or auntie. Okay, I don't want to say your mama because I don't want to be talking about your mother. I like you. Somebody's mama and auntie. Okay. Billy D. Williams, Richard Roundtree, he's still handsome. People like Larry Hoover. Man, I think he's still married, but that man is still fine. Shout out to him. I'm actually writing him in prison right now. To stay tuned for that. This is a true story. Back to the story. People like that. Those are very handsome men. I like Rapper the Game. I like that poster child of someone who I know looks good versus a notorious B.I.G. Come on. Like, okay. He said that he was ugly. His rhymes, he said he's fat, black, and ugly. Stuff like that. What I know for a fact, like, oh, yeah, they know that they fine. That type of person. Type of fine.
Okay. And that's not what you know. That's not what's usually hollering at you.
No. I don't know. I think because they got, like, hella hoes or something. I don't know what it is. These harlots are immaculate. They have come from everywhere.
So with this gentleman who is, I guess he's
handsome.
Okay.
He is. His teeth they didn't look like the New York State line. Okay. His skin was all chocolatey. It looked like it was taken well care of. He told me when we did actually have a call, he talked about he has a car. I said, cha-ching. He got a job. Great. I don't care if he live at home with his mother. I don't really care about that. I'm just happy that he ain't asking to live with me. Back to the story.
True story.
Let me tell you something that I have known about men, but at the same time, this is my downfall is I give men the benefit of the doubt, but I'm learning to not do that anymore. That's why I'm very specific when it comes with guys. Because you can tell a guy hello, and he's going to think that you want it. You can say, how you doing, nice day, whatever, and they're going to think that you want it. And that's not even the case.
Or you ask them, hey, would you like a bagel? Do you want cream cheese on your bagel? And the guy's thinking, yeah, she want it.
Exactly. I had to tell guys up front, if I find them attractive, say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not even trying to holler at you, but I think you're really handsome. And that's it. I have to let them know that.
That's actually really dope.
But that's what I do. I'll let a guy know I like his house because I know as a man, you all don't get that type of hollered at or anything else like that. You all are the ones hollering. You all are the ones complimenting. So it feels good when it's on the other foot. I understand that. And that's what I do.
I get that. For me, I see nothing wrong with telling a young lady, hey, your outfit is really nice. Not trying to holler at you. Don't really care. But you look nice. You put work into how you look. And I'm just applauding you. And the same thing for guys. And I think it's important to know that just because someone says that you look good or you look like you accomplished the mission when you left the house, that does not mean I want to seal the deal with you.
Yeah, and you have to be specific. It's like I think also because for both sexes, because we probably have had negative connotations dealing with compliments or what, we don't take them or receive them pretty well or so. But I remember, and I also know this for a fact, if you go to a guy's house, one or two things could happen. Either A, he can make you feel very uncomfortable because you're in his territory, or B, he can be very chill. And I've had the best of both worlds, right? But you never know. When I got on, and mind you, this particular day, and I remember the date so perfectly. I'm really good with dates. This was February 13th, 2020.
This is pre-Valentine's Day.
Yes. And I don't even celebrate. I don't be celebrating these pagan holidays. The only holiday I celebrate is my birthday. And it would be Juneteenth, but I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. I'm a little woke. We're still not really free. Back to the story, but that's a conversation for another day. Okay, I don't want the government coming after you tonight. Back to the story. So, like I said, when it came, this is what happened. We were talking on the phone. He would send me messages. He stood up for me like on via Facebook when they were bullying me. Really cool. He will repost my material. Cool cat. A little flirting back and forth, right? We had literally spoken throughout that day. He sent me a message that morning. Actually, he replied back to my story time because I said, okay, I'm about to reel him in without reeling him in. He likes feet. And I posted a video of me getting my feet done. I'm like, okay, I hope he looks at this video. The next day I woke up and he put like the tongue emoji. And I'm like, yes, I got him. Yes, okay. Right? I'm like, yeah, Kendra, you did. I gave myself a high five. And so applied back to that message and I started talking to him and everything else. We were literally talking throughout the entire day. I went to school, sending him audio messages, all that type of stuff. And I even asked him if he was ready for a relationship. And he's like, yeah, I think I am. I think I am. You think or you are. Okay, but you don't think about these things when you like
feeling somebody.
Lust in a sense. No, I'm going to keep it all the way real with you as well, right? I told myself, I said, Kendra, we're not messing around with no other guys until either A, you're married, or B, y'all are in some serious committed relationship. And at that point, the last time I did, mind you, this was February. The last time I ever messed around with a guy until that point was May of 2019. I was doing pretty good. I even let him know what my status was. I said, hey, I'm just going to keep it all the way real with you. I'm still a virgin. My throat's not, but my cat is, okay?
Whoa.
Keeping it all the way.
Whoa, okay, wait. We're going to have to pause right there. Your throat is not, but okay, do tell. Can't just throw me that Hail Mary and think it's just, I'm going to let it drop. What do you mean by your throat is not?
I performed oral sex. And the reason I would do that was because so only I could receive oral sex back. And that because I was addicted for a very long period of time. I was very addicted to head where I would lower my self-esteem. Just keeping it real. I would lower my self-esteem and standards with guys because I wanted this wonderful feeling that I once felt at about, that wonderful feeling didn't really come until I was 20. And I once felt it. I said, okay, I got to keep feeling this some more. I didn't want to keep doing it with this one particular guy because he didn't make me feel comfortable enough.
So it was this one young man made you feel a way that you wanted to feel again, but he also did not make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you how he did make me feel comfortable. Number one, he kept asking. He's like, oh, I really want to do it. Since you're a virgin, I just want to give you head and I want to eat your butt too. And I'm like, sir, no. We're not doing that. Okay. It's not like I could stay the night. He had his own place, but he didn't have a car. I don't really care about that. But at the same time I did. It ain't like we went out to eat. It ain't like we did anything. It ain't whatever else, baby. I literally wasn't feeling it. He would talk a lot, just in general. I was not feeling that. I find out present day, last year, 2020, find out that he had a whole girlfriend, was in a relationship. And then on top of that, I guess what bothered me as well, he never asked to be in no type of relationship with me. He just strictly said, Kendra, I just want to give you head. And I felt used at that point. Like, that's all I'm good for? That's why I said after he did it that one, top of that, it's like I would have to drive to you. And mind you, he lived like 20, 25 minutes away from me. Wasn't like he was throwing me gas money. He didn't send me no money, just give me money just because. Just because. I didn't do none of that. It was just going to be, okay, I'm going to give Kendra head and then that's about it. We were on the freaking floor. Why not the bed, man? Never, you know what? It took me until a couple of years after that to finally make it on the bed with somebody, and it was a hood dude. And that was my kryptonite. I was like, oh, I love hood dudes. I love me some hood dudes or whatever else it may be. Yeah, but here's the thing about the hood dude. He lived at home with his parents, and I had to be very quiet, put the pillow on my face. And mind you, I'm very loud. If it feels good, I will wake up the whole neighborhood. And so, with that being said, I hated that I was being restricted. And like I said, as time would progress, I would be like, no, this is what I want. I want a house. I want my own house. Like, I hate silently masturbating. masturbating. I don't like that. Back to the story. So
okay. There's a lot going on here.
I know. Y'all got to keep up.
Okay.
So with that being said, I was chasing this. Okay, let me just go. And a lot of times the guys who I was, except the hood dude, I really didn't mind performing the oral sex. Real chill. He was smart. I'm a sapiosexual. So he matched that vibe. He taught me so many different things
wait.
We
got to rewind. A sapiosexual?
Sapiosexual basically means you are attracted to somebody who's intelligent.
Oh, okay.
The intellect is what turns you on. Okay?
Damn, I missed that.
So I'm a sapio. It's okay. You learn something new every day.
There you go.
I'm a sapiosexual, and because his vibe, he would match. We would sit here, laugh. He is hilarious, freaking hilarious, and I love the vibe of that. But then there were issues within him that was prohibiting any relationship. Number one, it was his mother, and yeah, that was really the main issue. Number two, his teeth looked bad. Number three, I like people who, if you smoke weed, that's cool. If you're gonna drink, that's cool. I like people who do stuff in moderation. He was paying the weed man's bills. That's a problem to me because it makes me wonder what exactly is going on in your mind or your life that makes you want to have to do this recreational drug every day. Hell, I'll smoke with you, but I'll do it in moderation. That's how it's supposed to be. I was about to use as an example, but I know Smith is smoking more than just weed. Back to the story.
No, I'm not even going there.
With that being said, other people, like I said, I just felt obligated to because of the fact that they did me. And my thing was I didn't perform my best because of the fact that it was an obligation. Let me tell all the men something. Women know how to properly do it and do it well, but if she does it lazy to you, she's not really feeling you, sir. Just keeping it all the way real. She's not. Same thing with men. Men know how to really, if he wants to go 100% on that woman, he knows how to, and he'll do it. But if he's not feeling you, he's going to give you 45%.
30%.
So, or 20. So with that being said, for me per se, with New York, I remember I talked to him. I let him know about my status. He said, oh, yeah, that's cool. I'm fine with that. I enjoyed the conversation so much. I decided to pull up. I'm like, hey, I can pull up tonight. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. He shows up on time. And remember, I gave him a hug. And then like 20 minutes later, we walk in the house. Like, oh, what made you want to come see me tonight? And I'm like, I really enjoyed the conversation. I said, I thought it was cool. We could keep on going, right? He walked in the house. First off, he didn't even introduce me to his dog, little Scrappy dude. I want you to introduce me to the dog, okay?
Even the dog.
Secondly, he didn't say, do you want something? He didn't ask me if I wanted something to eat. He didn't ask me if I wanted something to drink. None of that. He had his weed, and he didn't even say, hey, do you want to hit? He declined for me with everything. He declined all my options.
So he really let you know what he was thinking about by not thinking about you.
But here's the thing, though. I literally was in this mindset where I was hoping it wasn't going there because of our earlier conversation. And I let him know what time it was. I was hoping it was. I was really hoping.
When you say you was hoping that it wasn't going to go there, when you say that, what do you mean?
I'm meaning that I was hoping that he wasn't going to try to bring out any type of the heat. I hope the heat was going to be cold, ice cold. I was hoping that he was going to still respect me at the end of the day and be a cool guy.
So you really was there just for conversation and to just chill out?
Yes, I was, because I've been to Guy's house where I've just had conversations.
Yeah, that's
and
totally
I enjoy
normal.
And we sit here. Wait, say that again?
I said that's totally normal to do that. I see nothing wrong with that.
Every guy is different. There are some guys you literally can go to their home and you can just literally do that. Sit, play cards with each other, hang out. He even said, I'm going to take you to go get your feet done. He even told me that. Right after I asked, guys will tell you whatever they want to tell you, make you believe it. A lot of these guys will. So right after he asked, what made you want to come over? And then he said, hey, man, give me a hug, man. I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, I just hugged you 20 minutes ago. Why am I hugging you again? So this time his hug was a little bit more aggressively.
A grope.
In a sense. I was like, bro, what the hell is going on? What is, no. Okay. So I said, Kendra, just, So I'm just sitting there. All right. But somehow, let me fast forward. Somehow, I don't know how my pants, it flew off. I think it's still over there. Just flew off my leg. Let me tell you the part. It gets extremely aggressive. He, without asking, he takes the tip of his penny and he smacks my ilk. And I will tell you guys, that's the most wonderful feeling.
Wow. Okay.
I'm keeping it real. I was like very like, oh my goodness, like ding dong, you knocking on the door. It felt wonderful, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, what is going on right now? It literally made me very much. I was kind of shocked and I kind of froze for a moment.
But you didn't want this to happen.
I didn't know what was about to happen. I didn't want this to happen. Not like this. Number one, I was hungry. Okay.
Okay.
I was hungry.
Okay.
And I remember I had my back turned towards him. Oh, I was laying on the side, I had my back turned towards him. He whispers in, he's like on my ear. He says, "Can I stick it in?" No, he said, "Can I put the tip in?" And I said, "No." And when my back's still turned, he's like, "I want you to have my kids." That was the next thing he said.
My God.
Guys, y'all got to understand, we're in our early 20s. Okay, this is last year. We're in our early 20s. Let me ask you something. You married, right?
100%.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, how many children do you have? Do you have a slew, like a football team starting up? Or you don't have any kids yet?
2 with 1 on the way.
Any point of your conception of children, did you at any point while prior to conception of children, did you ever tell your wife, "I want you to have my babies," or it just happened?
That's not something that maybe for some it's a conversation that takes place, but me personally, that's not how it goes down, or hasn't went down. I don't know. Everybody's different.
Yeah, I figured. You know what? No. I think everybody's the same in that. And I asked multiple men, and they have all said, "Kyndra, I had 3 kids already. I wasn't telling my old lady that I want you to have my baby." They said, "No man says that." But he told me that, and I was literally like, "Kyndra, what did you get yourself into?" But fast forward, after I leave the place, he literally, the communication on his end, it falls off. Like, he just stops talking to me. And he hits me back up. Or actually, he hits me up like 4 or 5 months later or 6 months later, tried again. Okay, this time I make him come pick me up because I'm like, I'm not driving over there. He comes and gets me. This is August. This is July, towards the end of July. And the first question he says, as we're on our way there, is, "What made you want to come hang out with me tonight?" And I'm like, "Bro, why are we back on this same thing?" Because at first, like I said, during the earlier call, when we spoke earlier call, he was very nice. He was very apologetic. All of that type of stuff. We see each other. He's like, "So what's up? What's the deal?"
Now he's switched up on you.
This time, I'm going to tell you this time. He not only that he was late coming to get me, not only was he, because he made it seem like we were going to go and hit the city, but he was late coming to get me. We hit the city all right. The city was his house again. Oh. So he ends up, because I got dressed up. I looked very nice. And I remember...
You put some effort into that.
I mentioned something about, I said, "You know what, a year from now, I do not want to end up being in the same position where I'm literally sitting on your bed. You're directly across from me on your futon, and we're not going anywhere, and we're still being picked up at night. We're not going nowhere. We're not doing nothing. I'm not dealing with this." I let him know that. I let him know my demand.
That was prior.
That's what he was doing. As I'm telling. No, this was not prior. This was in July of 2020, like after 6 months after he stopped talking to me. And he just picked up a messenger one day. He hit me back up again. This is like when I'm at his house the second time.
Oh, boy.
And he ends up, as I'm telling him this, he's just sitting on his phone, texting and typing, I guess making some plays and not really having my full attention, not caring. And I remember, he said to me, he's like, "Kyndra," he basically was saying to me, without saying, that I am moving at the way I'm trying to move. I'm not interested in having a relationship. I am just only trying to be friends with benefits, whatever. He was saying that.
Well, he was being honest with you.
That.
Oh, so
but he didn't say it like that.
Oh, okay.
I got the gist of what he was trying to say later on. And I remember him saying to me, "Okay, cool." He's like, "Well, I'd like to, I don't want to rush nothing at all." I said, "Okay, cool. We don't have to rush nothing. We can still keep it cool with each other." Lo and behold, 20 minutes after that, I'm laying down on the bed, and then I remember and this go around, the foreplay was freaking lazy. Now, I know everybody's like thinking, "Kyndra, how'd you get to the point of like, well, what made you decide to say, hey," after he basically disrespected you again by not even having your full attention, what made you decide for him to...
What would make you get back there? Yeah, I have the same question.
Okay, and I'm about to explain to you all right? All right, this is the low self-esteem within myself that's hoping that this is going to be it. To keep it all the way real. This is going to end up being it. Like, okay, he's making this, "I'm going to take you to go get your feet done" ordeal again. He is honestly making it seem as if this is it type of
he was playing
ordeal.
On your emotions.
Like, we're actually... Yeah, in a way, in my mind, I'm thinking this, okay? I honestly don't think he was honestly playing with my emotions at this entire mapped out life between us. Because I was happy to find, I'm telling you the truth, a lot of guys in my age group, these 90s and early 2000 babies, they don't have their life together. He, was a person who had his life together, okay? And that's what I was clinging on and latching on to. But the problem was, he was honestly hurt and still bitter from his previous relationship, who she broke his heart.
Did he tell you
so
this?
He hasn't properly healed from that. He did tell me that.
Oh, okay. Well, he
did tell me that.
He's on a journey.
He said the reason, Kyndra, I kind of ghosted you the first time was because I didn't know exactly what your intentions were. I was still trying to heal and everything else, and I just wasn't sure exactly what was going on. I thought, but brother, you could have just been honest with me and communicated. I'm all about communication. Whatever. The truth hurts. A lot of times things are easier said than done.
True.
I remember, like I said, this particular time, the next time, we in July 2020, and the foreplay, when I tell y'all it was whack, he didn't put no effort into it. The first time, it was all the way through the roof, like 4.0 GPA, premium 93, everything, man. 850 credit score type of foreplay.
Oh, my.
That's how great it was. This time, it was an F average. It was tap water, great value food.
Oh, man.
And I remember he said, turn around. I said, okay, let me flip on around. So he starts to give me head from behind. I'm like, okay, this feels great. And then all of a sudden, I feel something going up and going down, and I freak out.
Wow.
Like, it was like the touch, like not the surface, but like the outside of the lips. Like, he never went in. I felt the outside of the lips going up and going down.
Wow.
And I turn around, and I'm like, what the F are you doing? And he said, this is the 20% that I'm talking about that you're not willing to give me.
Wow. It's crazy. You're laughing, but I this is actually something that you didn't quite agree to. And here he is really trying to, I don't want to use the word force, but he's really pushing.
No, you can say it.
Well, okay. Well, then he's forcing an issue that you seem to have clearly stated that you did not want to happen.
I laugh at this now because I'm not angry anymore. I'm not hurt by it anymore. And I can talk about it. And so he dropped me off back at home. He says, okay. He went to the gas station, go get some gas. He never got me any food out of there, nothing like that. Dropped me off. He says, I'll be back and I'll bring you some food. He never brought me no food. He mentioned something about how when last year when the whole Dr. Dre and his wife were going through, he says, man, he's like, he doesn't know about marriage at this point because it's a whole type of business contract and everything else like that. He was just saying all these different things, and he made it seem like, and he says, I believe in God, but, and I'm like, if you believe in God, there should be no but he basically was saying, now I'm not trying to wait till no marriage. I got to get to really know somebody, and that's one of my ways of getting to know someone. What bothers me is the fact that he will post all these inspirational messages on social media saying, I want this type of woman, I want that type of woman, blase, woo. And he is literally the walking contradiction. Well, you say that you want that, and when that woman ends up coming into your life, you don't accept it, you don't appreciate it.
Well, this is the thing. We all got to understand that what people put forward on social media is not necessarily who they are as an individual. That's for men and women. There's a lot of hurt people out there flexing as if they're living the best life on earth, or people that are very religious, but yet they're the most demonic person ever. So it's strange that people really follow people based off of what their social media says, but that's not necessarily who the person really is. So they say friends.
That's true.
People say that they have, I like the fact that they just say follow or how many followers, because these people are actually not your friends as it is on Facebook. Because how much do you really know someone based off of what they post on social media? Mm-hmm. So, it's
now, and that's true. You can be whoever you want to be on social media. And I learned not to be very honest with people. Let me tell you something. Nobody in real life, like, unless we went to school together, nobody knows how old I am, and nobody knows how the Atlanta I'm currently living in. I make up whatever side of them I want.
What's crazy is I didn't even know you were in Atlanta. I thought you were either in New York or, based off, you said the fact that the gas station, he didn't get you any food from the gas station. I was like, okay, well, no, she's probably not in New York then.
I would love to go. I've never even been to New York, and I would like to go, but black folks ain't meant to be up north in cold weather. Y'all need to stop that. All the New Yorkers, that's probably why they moving down south. But no, back, like I said, when it came with him, he had made it seem like we kept talking. And then for a few days, he left me again. And then he just randomly sent me a text and said, what you got going on? It was a Monday afternoon. I tried calling him. He says, I feel like you're trying to hide something from me. Who exactly are you? And then I posted something that was hilarious, and he just unfriended me, and he had blocked me on social media. So I remember I got on a podcast, and I told them, they said, girl, what is his name? People don't let me say names. I'm like, girl, I told them everything. I told how to find him, all that type of stuff. And they went and they spammed his account, said, you need to unblock Kyndra. What is wrong with you? They went off. And so he unblocked me, but he never did friend me again. So he still ain't friend me. And I'm not going to lie. There have been times.
Wait. You had other people go to this man's account, You had other people call him out. Oh my gosh. You crazy for that one.
Let me tell you something. Sometimes women, when they know for a fact that you've been done wrong, or a person know that for a fact you've been done wrong when you've done nothing wrong,
all of a
they
sudden
will ride for you.
You got an army all of a sudden.
I had an army, and I haven't spoken to these girls since when I jumped on their podcast earlier this year. I have not spoken to them since, but I appreciate them, right? And I think one of us were still Facebook friends or whatever, but like I've not spoken to them since, and I appreciate them writing for me, but they went off on him to the point where he unblocked me. And what's so crazy is I said, let me just go check to see what his progress looking like. He doesn't look as good as he did at the time. I don't know. I'm like, that's what happens when you play with a child of God, or when you all hear fake believing in God. You out here posting TD Jakes. Come on now. Quit posting little snippets of TD Jakes. You can't even follow the man's word, man. And again, TD Jakes, he's not no God or nothing like that. But I hate the people, and I'm going to keep it all the way real. And I've had to change my life because I used to be a Sunday to Sunday type of worshiper. When in actuality, people know you're really supposed to go to church on Saturdays. But again, I'm very woke. That's all I'm going to say. All right. But I used to be that go for 1 week to the next week type of worshiper and everything else like that. But I guess because I'm more into my faith now, certain things that people will do just kind of disgust me. And I guess for me, I was just, the audacity of it. And I think for me, I'm going to keep it all the way real with you because of the fact that guys, I'm telling you, I know for a fact, guys are not just going to want to give you head and not going to want to have some type of penetration afterwards. They're going to want to. And I hate that. And again, people might, and I know there's going to be a guy listening like, no, not me. I'm a pleaser.
How do you maneuver through that?
You maneuver by just not going to these guys' house or keeping your legs closed or just not entertaining that. And to me, it's a shame because once I let a guy know what my status is, they automatically rule me off. And that's another reason why I've never been in a real relationship because, again, typically guys who really care about you, they're not going to want to take your virginity. The men who sit here in my DMs and say that I want to hump on you and say all these other derogatory things to me, once they realize that what time it is, they like, oh, okay, well, she's pretty, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm telling you what ends up happening. And I think, like I said, going back to that, for me personally, that is another reason why after talking to so many different people over a course of time and then letting me know, Kendra, sex is cool, but if you're not in one with the person, like you guys are not a union amongst each other, it's not all that cracked up to be. And you need to be amongst each other. Y'all need to be equally yoked. And if you're not equally yoked with that person, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
And the fact that
do you see yourself going another 20 years, 10 years, 20 years, still being a virgin?
If I am not but here's the thing though. Okay, I'm going to answer your question in two parts. I definitely could do that. If I made it this far, I'm like the road to 30, y'all. Halfway to 30. As soon as I wake up tomorrow, I'll be 30, okay? You just blink like, damn, man, I was just 7 years old. You know?
That's the truth.
So you got to realize it like this. If that person if I have not come across somebody who's worth it, because again, a lot of these cats disgust me. So, yeah, if I keep coming across the same amount of guys that I've been coming across because we live in a social media era, then, yes, it's going to be like this for as long as I can make it. It's going to be like this. Now, I do know for a fact what happens. What ends up happening is if you wait so long and you get to the point where you just become upset and you become frustrated with God, where you take matters into your own hands, I'm a little afraid of that happening. But I came across this woman. She was on Wendy Williams, and she said she's 50 and she's still a virgin. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, like, lady, I'm so proud of you. I came across a guy, one of my followers told me his sister's 50 and she's a virgin.
I hear you saying this. And we all know that there are dating websites for all classes of people, genders, whatever likes, loves that you have. Are there any dating sites for virgins? Do you know of anything like that? Maybe this is a business opportunity that you can start.
You know what? And there probably are, but I'm going to keep it real with you. I want somebody who's experienced. To be honest with you, I don't want another virgin. I did when I was 15 or 18, but when you're a young adult, you don't really care to have that. You don't really care to want that. That's in God's will. At the end of the day, this is what I want, but what you want, is that really what you need? If God says this is what I need, you have to trust what God has to say because he knows all and he knows best. You can't argue with that, man. So with that being said, I prefer someone who's experienced. Because like I said, if you don't know how to give good head, we divorce an hour later. I don't care. Like,
wow.
Just keeping it real. But I do hope that everything is going to be on the up and up. I hope the foreplay is great. But there probably is a site for that. But I'm not interested. To be honest with you, I'm focused trying to get to a better place in my life where I am I want my dreams to happen. I want the fruition, like me trying to get out of the Section 8 neighborhood into a nice big home, long driveway. I am trying to have myself probably a chinchilla fur coat. Who knows? Okay. Be gone for a week. Those are the goals I'm trying to make happen. And how do I make that happen? By staying inside the house, getting my name out there, podcasting, whatever I can do. Meeting random people who can help me get the key to my future.
I ain't mad at it. So what's the name of your show?
The Kyndra Crump Show. Okay. You are more than welcome to join the podcast whenever. Okay. Every Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay,
well, hey, listen, I'll tune in. Maybe I can be a guest on your show one day.
Yeah, any Friday that you want to join. Does not matter. You let me know. I can connect you with other podcasters, and y'all all have fun. It's called Naked Podcast. What exactly does that mean? That means that you have to have your camera off, okay? And if you don't have clothes on, that's fine with me. As long as you are in Walmart with no clothes on. Please put clothes on if you're in a public place.
This is the Naked Podcast, and wait, hold on, because I'm a little lost. And you're saying you have to be naked?
Yes, on the other side of that camera, you have to be naked. If you don't want to be naked, that's on you, but that's not, you're not playing the games. You're not playing the rules.
I think, listen, if I'm going to be on your show, I will not be playing by the rules, but okay.
Of course, when you have children running around, you don't want to be naked. And there's children running around. It's kind of scary. Yes, but like I said, when it comes with virginity, I think what it comes down to is I have literally based a lot of my life over it and said, okay, my life, I want it to be like this. I want the perfect world. And everything else like that. But a lot of the guys I had crushes on, the ones that I really wanted to be with, they would just tell me sweet little nothings, and then their true colors showed a week later. But I didn't want to believe that was them. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe I can probably give them my virginity so I can get this over with. Because there are times I'm like, I'm tired of myself. If I was already deflowered?
What if?
I was saying that there are times, what if me in New York, if I was already deflowered, me in New York could have already had something together, and then we probably would have been in a relationship. That's all things like, what if? But then I thought to myself later on, I said, Kendra, that probably would not have even happened. He probably still would have used you until he got tired of you and moved you on to the next person.
Yeah, unfortunate reality.
That could happen as well.
And then you would be doing the same thing.
Yeah, that could happen as well.
You'd be doing the same thing to others until you find that happiness with someone else.
And I think a lot of times what happens when multiple people have sex, and again, when you have sex with a lot of different people over a course of time, that could end up giving you a distorted view on sex and relationships.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen.
I respect it.
To me.
Listen here, young lady.
But look at you. That's why you cool, and that's why you are where you are, because of the fact that it worked out for you.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, I found myself a queen. I was really blessed in the opportunity to actually meet my wife. And with that, we were able to grow together. I think it's really about finding someone that's willing and wanting to grow with you.
That's real.
Yeah. It's the only way to keep it. Yeah.
That honestly is the truth. And I think for me, I spend a lot of my life trying to compare myself to other people.
Don't do that.
And then I realized, like, Kendra, you have to live your own life. You cannot sit here and just be like, oh, well, those two didn't wait for marriage and they live happily ever. Because the biggest myth in the world is if you give a man everything that he wants, he's not going to ever marry you. And everybody's different.
Let me tell you something.
It's
all different.
You can wait until marriage, and I've had people say, Kendra, what if you wait until marriage and it's not good? I'm like, you know what? I don't know what to say. I said, but I hope, keeping it real, I hope if I have honored God, he's going to return the favor of honoring me in the sense of making the sex this grand, the trumpets and everything else, like every single time. That's what I hope it happens. But if it doesn't happen, then there's nothing I can do about that.
Hey, young lady, I'm going to really say I appreciate you for sharing your journey. It's really cool. The fact that you're on this path and you know what you want and what you don't want for yourself and things that you are willing to accept and not accept. And I really thank you for talking sweet with SweetBaby Jay. Any last words?
Of course. I appreciate you.
Sure. Any last words that you want to say to the people?
Oh, yeah. Do cocaine because crack is whack. No.
Oh, God. Okay.
All seriousness, man. Behind every no, there is yes. And I want you guys to just go after your dreams, man. No matter what ends up happening, go after your dreams and go hard in the paint with it, okay? No matter what you want to do.
I respect
And check
that.
on me in about 10 years if I got deflowered yet. Check on me in 10 years.
Check on you. Okay, we're going to have to run that one back. Young lady, I really appreciate you. Stay sweet, stay great.
All right. Same to you.
That's about it.